Hey YouTube, so I'm back in the shed today working on the Gravely plow. We're going to be having snow this week, so there's no way I'm going to get it done this weekend for it. I don't hear a lot of snow anyways, so I still have the quick hitch one for the Pro Series ones, and I have a few other plows around, so if it's wet, a couple inches or whatever, I can use that, so I'm not overly worried about not having this ready. So as you can see, it's been a few weeks since I worked on it, but it's all painted up, or at least it's got the primer on it, I should say. So that's done. So the next thing I have to work on, which I don't know if I said it in the previous videos. Actually, I didn't. There was I guess I must have, when I was down on the ground kind of looking at it from the side, from this edge right here, I was, for some reason I must have touched the camera and turned it off, and I missed a bunch of stuff that I was talking about. But basically this is the old edge, so let me put this on, or next to it I should say. So this is the old edge that's left. So if you look at it, you're like, hey, like me, hey, this looks fine. It's got a front, and we'll just, you just bolt an extra piece here, which is that brown one over there. It's got the primer on it, and you'll be good to go. But the problem is, it's not right. It's really worn out, more than I thought when I first got it. So what it is this is supposed to be, so it's like 2 inches this way, and it's supposed to be like 2 3/8 this way, but it's supposed to sweep, and it's got a bend in it. So it basically, it's all worn out on that end, so it's supposed to come down and then curl up like this. And what I'll do is I'll put a picture in of what it's supposed to look like. So as you can see, it's totally worn out. So it's supposed to come up and curl under, and this curl under part is supposed to, it's between this curve right here and this edge. That's supposed to be what rides on the ground. But if I don't have that curve, the problem is this is just weak sheet metal right here. It's not really robust. This is just going to bend this way, and I think that's what happened a while ago, and that's why on when I first got it, they had some angle iron or whatever to try to tip this forward to help with that. That's why this was bent like this, and that's why the whole thing was whoever had it before tried to work with what they had with it going this angle, so it was all screwed up. So here my plan is, let me get the wire out of the way here. So this is kind of what it's supposed to be like, but so I got a 2x2. It should be 2 3/8 over here, but the plan is I'm going to drill the holes on this edge and up along this edge up here to mount it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a vise and bend this 45 degrees, so it is just like the picture I showed you. So look down on it, so it comes here, and then I'm going to bend it pretty much right there and have it go straight out like that, or curve or something. And I might add another piece on the end, weld it on, just to give it a little bit more length. But so then if it's over here, this lever will keep this edge digging in, and this one will be riding on the ground over here. So it's gonna go from this to kind of like this, right along this edge. So first thing I'm gonna do is drill all the holes, and then we'll start bending it. All right, got the first set of holes drilled. You can see right there. So this side will be I believe the cutting edge. Just have to make sure it matches up with that. I think it has to now, but yeah, no, it actually, I used the Harbor Freight titanium drill bits. You know, I didn't even use a pilot hole on this one. This is a 5/8 bit, and these are the Warriors. So the jury's out on this with me, you know, thinking how, you know, if these are even, you know, any good. I don't, you know, I'm of the mentality that they're still shitty, but they did cut this, so I'll have to see how much. So this was only what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes. So it cut 7 holes. So it did fine, and no pilot holes were needed. But we'll see when we do another 7 holes. But let's see if it wears, you know, it survives even that. So, you know, I wouldn't recommend them at this point. A lot of guys trash them. The first time I used them in a drill, and it snapped on me. So they seemed to be very, very fragile, very brittle. So, you know, they're probably definitely meant more for this application, for a drill press. So that's pretty much all I use them for now. So, let's see. So there we go. So this is, you know, all the holes went through. So I'll have to see how well this matches up to this edge that I have here, and whether or not I have to drill any more holes than that. This was actually scrap metal off the plow. I think this was like when they hooked this up on this piece, they put a big piece of white plastic. I'm guessing it was probably just like nylon or something like that, and then they bolted this metal piece to the front of that to be able to put, you know, so the bolts wouldn't rip through the plastic. So it was all rusted up, but I'm going to use it for a disposable plow edge. So I'll get to that. I'm going to check that, see how well it lines up to this. But next thing I'm going to do is, so I did these set of holes, and now I'm going to do these set of holes. So far so good. All right, I just caught myself before I made a mistake. So what I had planned on doing, so here's I don't know if you can see this. So here's the front face, right? So here's the front edge. So this edge, you saw in the time lapse there, this is the cutting edge that's gonna go along this face right here. So this will be the cutting edge. Actually, what I might do is run without it at first, just to actually wear it down, but who knows, we'll see. And what I was planning on doing is, just like I did on that last one, just put the 2 flats together like this, and just go along and drill it like I did before, drill, drill, drill. But I just realized there's an issue. The holes are not, like, there's not a center one. Means I can't base, you know, a center hole and then work outward. Each one of there's just, you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's an even amount, not an odd amount. So what I would have to do is have to go off of center and then measure them out and see if they're equidistant from each other, which probably are. But what I was going to say is, what I planned on doing was just doing it like this, where I clamp it. I have these 2 datum surfaces aligned, so then my distance from, you know, this edge to the center of the hole would be fine, and then I can adjust the distance and just fit it and just go down and drill just as easy as I did before. But the problem is now it's backwards, and like I said, these are not. I measured the hole edges, the end holes from the edges, and each one is like 2 5/8, and one is like 3 1/4 or something like that for some unknown reason. So they're not exactly even. I don't know why. I don't know if someone did it. I don't know. It's just a little odd. So I think what I'm going to have to do is just find what the center line of the hole to this edge is, and then cut that line all the way down, and then put so I know what that depth is, and then just kind of mark it afterwards, and then maybe just measure it or something. But I just want to make sure I take my time in this, because I don't want to have multiple holes in it and screw up. And so I will take my time, like I said. So like I said, I was gonna do it this way, but if I did it this way, it's actually the reverse. So technically to really get it right, it has to be this way, since this is the cutting edge, which is odd. So, obviously it won't, if it's on the inside, it's not, these two datums aren't going to line up, because you're going to have this offset, yada, yada, yada. So, let me think about it for a little bit. What I'll probably end up doing is, like I said, figuring out what the distance between this hole and this edge is, mark that with the calipers, cut the line, and then maybe mark each one afterwards and just verify it. So I will put it on time lapse, and you can watch me and see the end result. And I'm the one who has to suffer through it. All right, I think I figured out how to do it. So what I did was I measured the distance between this edge and the center line of the hole, which is approximately 650. So I don't know if you saw it in the video, but I basically took my calipers, locked it at 650, and then scribed a line down the edge of the new piece. So I have a line running down, so that basically sets my depth into the part this way. And then in order to get the holes in this one, in these, each the spacing in the long way, I basically took a punch, just went in the hole and knocked a dimple in it. So let me take off the old edge here, set it aside. Hopefully it doesn't fall. All right, so let me grab the camera real quick. All right, so like I said, so I cut, as you can see, I cut a line that's 650 all the way down. So that's how deep it is coming in this direction. And then to set the long way, I just I punched, a hole right through the old piece. So one there, one there, and all the way down. So that gives me the distance. So now all I have to do is bring the drill press, this orientation down to this line, and we're good to go. So it's this one right there. So if I just bring point of the drill bit right there and drill, it should line up. All right, drilled all the holes. They weren't perfectly on that line that I did, but they're close enough that they all fit. They all go through. There's enough flex in the metal, so there's one, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So they all fit, which is great. So as you can see, this thing's definitely a little out of whack. So once I crank this down, hopefully that'll somewhat flatten it out. But the next job, which I might do tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to do it today because it's like an outside job. And today is it's dark out now, but it is raining. I guess I've been out here for a little while. So the next thing, like I said, is to basically take this and I'm going to roll this edge starting probably right there. So I'll curve that up there like that. So see how this curves? So I'm going to this will bolt up and then I'm going to curl it right around there and then bend this up. So then it is more of a landing in this direction to keep this forward rather than so it doesn't bend out. But I also might weld something out just to make it a little bit farther, like I said before. So I'm going to bend it and then see what happens. But this is definitely good progress for today. So I'm happy with it. So it looks good. It's soft metal. I'm not going to lie. It's if luckily my driveway's tiny. So luckily this. If I had, like a 200-foot driveway, even a 100-foot driveway, and used it a lot, it probably wouldn't last that long because it's soft metal and it's going to bend easy. So, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I have multiple plows around, so again, this is just a quick fix. So we'll see. So that's probably a wrap for today. And go in and have dinner and come back at it tomorrow. So, all right. We'll see you then.